Greeting. Recording. Okay. Oh, there's not so much light on the face, is there? What to do? Let's see if I can adjust somehow. Maybe. How's that? How does that look? Doesn't make much difference. Anyway, okay. Hare Krishna. Now I just remembered I forgot something. Where is it? Um, Welcome, welcome. Hare Krishna. Yes, you can close. Yeah. Okay. So, Pranati Mangala Charana. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh, I should change the microphone to wireless mics. Yes, and video is open. Okay, we're good. So, greetings everyone on this January 17th late afternoon in Sridham, Mayapur. Late afternoon as the sun recedes into the west and the jackals make their crying sound, and hopefully we don't have any techno music from Mulapara. uh, yeah, this is called picnic season, and people apparently like to, I don't know what they do. They put up loudspeakers and they blast the three worlds with their horrible, horrible techno music. And they seem to think this is very enlightened way of acting. But as we discussed this morning, who knows? Maybe Krishna likes it. That's a big maybe. It's a big maybe. I would be more convinced that Krishna likes it if I met a Vaishnava who likes it. And I have yet to meet a Vaishnava who likes it. Okay, so we want to continue with Chaitanya Mangala. And I may need some help to remember where we are.
9.
Say again.
Text 9.
Text 9. Oh, very good. Okay, here we go. First, we have to share the screen. And, whoops, hold on. Before that, I have to find where we are on this thing. There. Text. Oh, yes, text 9. Okay, then we come back here and we go, oops, start over. There. That should do it. Okay. Right. So, what has been happening? Saintly Sachi and Fortunate Jagannath lovingly gazed at their son's face. Yeah, so they're full of adoration for this amazing child. And oh, yes, and little Nimai keeps his feet on Sachi's breasts and swinging back and forth. Okay, Otidirga Nayana Sundara Atta Hasi Odore Amiya Rashi Jainop Pode Koshi. His eyes were very long, So ati dirga nayana. His loud laughter was charming, sundar artahasi. So sundar is, of course, beautiful or charming. Hasi is laughter. Atta, maybe from ati, which in Sanskrit means very much or loud. On his lips flowed a stream of nectar. Adhare amiya rashi janapare kasi. All right, let's see. Adhare is on the lips. And we keep finding this word amiya, which seems to have different meanings. Rashi can mean something like a lot, a pile, something very much of something. Jena, which pare falls, I think. Kasi might mean like a stream flowing. Nasika shukir oshta, jini manohar, ganda juga jyotirmoy, gotana sundar. Nasika, his nose was charming like a parrot's beak. A parrot's beak. Parrot's beak is kind of hooked. But maybe that's not the comparison, it's just charming. Oshta Jini Manohar. I don't think we're getting the whole translation. What's that? Genie, I think, is shining, something like that. And Oshta, what is Oshta? Oshta might be a beak in this case. Manohar is charming, literally taking the mind or stealing the mind. And Ganda Juga would be his two cheeks. Jyotirmoy were effulgent. Gatana. Jyotirmoy Gatana. Yeah. Sundar means beautiful. Jyotirmoy Gatana. I don't know what is Gatana. But whatever it is, it's something very nice. Ekadui tin chari pancha chiyamase. That should be choi, I think. Nama karan hoila anna prashana divase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 months passed. Then came the day of the Namakarana, the name-giving ceremony, and Annaprashana, the first grain ceremony. Namakarana, hoila, Annaprashana, divase. Annaprashana, the giving of grains. Divase, I don't know, in the day. Not sure. Putra Mahotsava Kore, Mishra Purandar, Alankare, Bhushita Shonara Kalevar. Jagannath Mishra performed a great festival for his son. Mahotsava Kare. So another name of Jagannath Mishra is Mishra Purandar. Purandar, I think, means like the prominent or the primary one, the primary Mishra. With many ornaments, he decorated his son's golden body. Olonkare Bhushita Shonar Kalevara. Kalevara means body. Not to be confused with Kevala. Kevala means only. And Kaivalya means aloneness. It's the goal of classical yoga, Patanjali yoga, is Kaivalya. Isolation. Kalevana just means, it's one of a few words meaning body. So Alankare Bhushita. Bhushita is the past participle. Ornamented. And sonar means gold. And alankare, in ornaments. Angat kankana kore galematti hara koti sharna shikali magara paye aro. Lord Gora wore bracelets on his hands, armlets on his arms, a pearl necklace on his neck, a golden belt on his waist, and anklets on his feet. Angad Kankana. Angad, I think, means limbs. Maybe it means specifically hands. Koregole. I would think that would be hands, kore. But motihar. Oh, gale. Yeah, okay, sorry. This is often confusing. There's a hyphen, so kare, and then gale, but it should be what we call an M dash, which means a longer line. So it's not a compound, kare gale. It's angad kankana kare, and then comma, gale matihara. So gale means the neck, and matihara, hara means necklace, and mati means pearls. So, okay, koti sharna shikali magara bhaye ara. Swarna shikali magara. Oh, again, I think it's divided. Koti swarna shikali, and then magara paye ara. But what's what here? I don't know. Swarna means gold, that's all I know. So swarna shikali must be a golden belt. And what's koti? And what's magara? Anklets is one of them. And ara just means in addition, also. And paye, I think, is he received, he got. Okay, Mardila Hidgula Jena Karu Podatole Odara Banduli Ankirata uttapale. His palms and soles were anointed with red hingula. So hingula, I guess, is the same as what we would call, what do you call it? Kumkum, red powder. Madila hidgula. Maybe that should be hingula. Hidgula. Jena karu pada tale. Tale means surface. So the surface, meaning the bottom of the feet and the pada and the palms of the hands. Karu pada tale. In our prayer to Srila Prabhupada, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale. Tale means on the surface, bhu of the earth. Okay, Adhara Bandhuli Anki Rata Uttapale. His lips, Adhara, Bandhuli, were like a banduli flower. Okay, we have to ask Sundari Madhavi, what is a banduli flower? She probably knows. His eyes, Anki, were red like lotus flowers. Okay. Anki Rata. Rata must be red. Uttapale. And 15, Bijri Majila Gora Ange Tai Tai Jhalamala Angateja Chahite Napai. His fair limbs seemed washed with lightning. Bijri, I think, is lightning. Because in modern Bengali and Hindi, the word for electricity is bijli. Bijli, bijuri. Majila, I guess, is washed. Gora ange, the limbs of Gora. Or Gora means fair, his fair limbs. Tai Tai. Tai Tai might be from stan, position, place, in the place, each place. His limbs are so effulgent, Jalamala, Angateja, Chahite Napai. I don't get Napai, Chahite. The Chahite, the ability to see, I don't know. Okay, then the last one, 16. Vishvapalane Tuila Vishambharanam Saraswati Sambhadeje Purusha Pradhan. He was given the name Vishvambhara, which means the maintainer of the worlds. The learned followers of Goddess Saraswati say this word is a name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Vishvapalane, in protecting the Vishva, the universe, Tuila, I guess something like received or was given, Vishvambaranama, he was given the name Vishvambara, Saraswati Sambhade, Jay, those who, Samvad who converse with Saraswati. Jai Purusha Pradhan. Or maybe Saraswati, those who speak, Saraswati's knowledge, something like that. Purusha Pradhan, they say that he is the original Pradhan, Purusha, the original person, the foundational, primordial person. Yeah, okay. Okay, now, so let's go back.
Banduri flower is Parijata flower.
Acha. Banduli flower is Parijata. We just learned. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to stop sharing for a moment while I go here and change this to original sound for musicians. There we go. And then we go back. Here. So. Okay. And we have our musician backup team here. Okay. Ati Dirga Nayana Sundar Attahasi Adare Amiya Rashi Jena Phade Kasi Asika Shuke Osta Jini Manohar Ganda Juga Jyotirmaya Ghatana Sundar Dui Tin Chari Pancha Chaimase Namakaran Hoila Anna Prasandivase Tina Chari Pancha Chaimase Namakaran Hoila Anna Putrama Utsav Pare Mishra Puranda Alankare Bushita Sunara Kaleva Anga Kankana Kore Gale Matiha
Pati Swarna Shikari Magara Bhaye Madila Hidgula Jena Haru Padatane Adhara Banduli Anki Rata Uttapane Bijuri Majilok Ram Ange Tani Tai Jalamanda Anga Tej Chahite Vishwa Halame Thaila Vishwambarana Saraswati Sambhade Jai Purusha Prana Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Okay. Shri Vishvambara Ki Jai. And Lochandas Thakur. Lochandas. Yes, Lochandas Thakur Ki Jai. Okay, welcome everyone again. So, I don't have a whole lot to report. Um, yeah, maybe one interesting thing is I was invited to give a written interview about the book Yoga and Animal Ethics for a journal, popular journal called Psychology Today. Um, and it's a short interview. They just wanted 900 words, which is pretty short, which is okay. So I wrote it and sent it off. Um, Mark Beckhoff is the interviewer, and he's written books about animal psychology. So, yeah, we'll see what happens to that. Maybe we will get a little bit of promotion that way. So that's nice. Um, yeah, well, I could show one book we got last week. Last Sunday, we went to Jagannath Mandir in Rajapur for darshan. Such a very sweet mood in the Jagannath Mandir. And Jagannath there is somehow very special. And after darshan, we did a little shopping in their bookstall. So Bhakti Purushottam Swami has produced this book, Balaram, the first expansion of Lord Krishna, Tattva, pastimes, glories, worship. And it has a happy front cover and quite many paintings. I don't know who is the painter or if it's AI painting. uh, let's see. Cover, oh, there is a cover artist. Okay. Yeah. So it's a nice collection of, as it says, tattva, pastimes, glories, worship. The tattva section is quite short. Uh, Eventually, there will be another book on Balaram, which is now in the process of being compiled by Kishore Prabhu, disciple of Bhakti Swami. I don't know if in the end it's going to be Kishore's book or Bhakti Swami's book, but I suspect it will be a quite thorough study of Lord Balaram. Yeah. Okay. Uh, let's see. Yes, Chitrakarani, you're here.
Hare
Would
Krishna.
you like to share with us briefly about the presentation of your film in Turkey?
Yes, I wouldn't call it Guru Maharaj my film. It's just, it's a manifestation kind of sort of.
You did all the work.
Yeah, but I don't think, that we have must be another part of me in another timeline. This is how I feel actually.
Different life.
Different life can be the parallel universe. I don't know. So so I don't know. I don't feel like it was me, but that's a metaphysical subject matter. Um, Actually, I didn't do anything, to be honest, to organize this event. I didn't make any effort. I wasn't even thinking about it. Only when we finished the movie and released it on YouTube, I think that was the COVID period or before. I don't remember. I think it was before. Maybe not. I just have this desire that this movie is not being released properly. So I always had this feeling of wish I could present it to the real physical people who are physically in front of me. Because I remember that it was the birthday of Balaram, or maybe, yes, something like this. I can't remember. So we choose that day to release it on YouTube. And then, so for me, it was silent. I didn't feel anything. People, everybody experienced it from YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I know that they also in some yoga houses, in some temples, it has been shown, but I have never experienced or feel anything. It's like my job always as an industrial also designer. You design something and it touches to the life of the people. Maybe thousands people use it, but I never know. Actually,
Yeah.
so it's like completely detached from the result. But
Yeah.
somehow in my heart, I was always feeling the desire of wish I could present this movie to the group of people and anybody. So other than that desire, which I somehow have it in my heart, I didn't make any plan to do it. It happened just like that. I was in the university teaching about neural architecture. It's about the effect of architecture to our brain. So how we should design the architecture environments. Actually, this is becoming a standard now. That's another topic. I think people are discovering the ancient teachings, also the architects, because this neural architecture is really about this, but that's another subject matter. So the group in the university who came to film me, record my lesson, we were chatting, how we do this, how are you, who are you, we were chatting, enjoying, and then we were talking about filming movie, and then I happened to tell them about our adventure in India about filming, because they're also in the movie business in the university. They are they said, "Wow, that's amazing." They were quite surprised, interested. They get really excited. So they bring the news to the University of Communication and Filming department in the university. And somehow the dean of the university came out to be my schoolmate from the high school. So we were very happy to see each other, and then they said, we have to make a big presentation. Please tell all our students how you make the movie, what is the movie about. So this is how it happened. So you can't plan something like this, It's just happened. So by divine arrangement, I make the presentation of the movie. The frequency in the room was amazing. Actually, the nicest thing I heard is the teacher who were interested about the movie, 2, 3 of them view it beforehand. They say that, we love this Dr. Kenneth Welby. He's so peaceful. He's so sweet. We love them. This is what they say. So I make a quick presentation of 1 hour about the philosophy, how we make the movie and everything, including my feelings, how everything come together. So it was nice, really. The frequency of the room was filled with divine energy, I guess I can
Yeah.
clearly. And so it was
Nice.
very pleasant, and that's it.
Very good. Yeah, I was just, you make a good point that watching a film alone, just watching from YouTube, is one kind of experience, but to watch a film together with others, it's more of a group experience. It's actually can be interesting because then you can discuss the film afterwards.
Guru Maharaj, after we made the movie, did you find the opportunity to present it to a group of people? Have you had that experience?
I must confess, I never have.
I
But now that
think
you
you
mention
should.
it,
Guru Maharaj, you have the power to organize this. You
now
should.
that you
Because,
mention it, maybe we should be doing this.
yes, because then there is something is missing. It's not about proudness, has nothing to do with this. You know, there are some specific moments in the life of like birthdays, appearance day, disappearance day to create.
In occasions, yeah.
Yes. So it is like it's like you die but you don't have a funeral. Like we make the movie but then we didn't find the chance of sharing it with the people. That's
Like
completely.
that's an interesting comparison you just made.
Or what can
Dying
it be?
without a
Birthday
funeral.
party without nobody, let's say.
Huh?
Celebration, like is or let's say celebration without nobody, or
Yeah.
birthday party with nobody alone.
Yeah.
So it's kind of closing the energy field. This is what I think. So I had this desire in my heart. So most probably Krishna is very kind and they kind of arrange it in a way. And so I had a kind of feeling of completion in my
Hmm.
energy field with that. So I'm very grateful to Krishna about this. And
Did you do the Turkish subtitles for
oh,
it?
yes, that was so difficult.
Oh,
Oh my God. Oh my God. Because I was like contemplating on one sentence like 2 minutes. And actually, I give the task mission uh, to another devotee, but I wasn't absolutely happy from the result. And so
hmm.
I do the translation, and it took like 2 months just to translate them into Turkish with the
Uh,
correct.
which other languages do we have subtitles? Do you remember?
We don't have Italian, I know this.
Huh.
Uh, we have different Hindu languages, right? German, I guess, Spanish, Russian.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm not sure. I can't remember anymore. But
Soumya Karni says she
all the
can do
devotees.
Russian.
But this movie is always getting amazing comments in YouTube. Who watch it is
Hmm.
always pleased. I never heard like there's 200 comments. I never any negative or any because
Hmm.
it is like you. It is your soul. It's so kind to everybody, to all the information of the world. That was actually the soul of the movie, to be kind to all kind of sort of belief and kind of bring peace to the heart of everybody, even if whatever religion you are.
Huh?
So that's why the comments are also very kind. So if anybody would like to still translate this movie, this service is always available. And uh,
You have the transcript of the English so that one could,
of course, I
yeah,
can always, because during the moment there was a momentum. So when there was a momentum, people were more volunteer to translate it.
right.
But I believe in the upcoming years, because I think the world is in a kind of in the search of spiritual knowledge. Everybody's looking after spiritual knowledge. I think we are in a different era now. People are
Hmm.
open to different ideas now. This movie will always be by the intellectual minds, it will be always watched and cherished. Like, yes, I believe so. Translated will be, I think, a good service. It will please Krishna. So I'm
Yeah,
very grateful to Krishna that he kind of give me this opportunity to share it with the physical people.
yeah,
So please, Guru Maharaj, do it for yourself because we really suffer a lot. You organize a small event and I don't know, like 20, 30 people, you can
yeah.
watch it in one temple
No, it's a very
together.
good idea. I
Uh,
see. I see now. Mangala Chandrika says it lists Bulgarian, Hungarian, Slovenian, Russian, Spanish, Tamil, and Turkish subtitles. Tamil. Oh, who did the Tamil?
Tamil, I think the last day when we were in the house of this nice family, they translated into Tamil.
Oh, okay. Florina is asking, what's it about? It's about the Bhagavatam. And what happened, it was toward the end of 2016. And we
2017.
were talking, you and I were talking, and I said, there's going to be this conference um, on the Bhagavatam, an academic conference in Chennai in January, the next. So it was about 4 months later. And I said it would be really good if we could interview the scholars, because so many scholars will be there, and it would be good to get that on film. And you said, let's do it.
Yes, actually,
You were
there wasn't
determined, we're going to do it.
if
And
there
then
wasn't this
immediately,
conference, we wouldn't be able to do it
yeah. And
because
then we immediately started thinking, okay, how do we raise the funds? Because it costs money to make a film. And then I was in China. I was in Beijing and I gave a talk. And then after the talk, there was a dinner. And there was, at the dinner, there was this, there was this one Chinese lady who didn't speak a word of English. But others, one devotee was telling me that she's a business lady and she's kind of bragging about her business, how successful it is. And I said to the devotee, well, I have a project. Maybe she would like to help. And at first he said, oh, we can't just ask her like that, straight out. And then a minute later he said, yeah, let's just ask her. So we explained to her we're making this film, and she said, "How much do you need?" And I wasn't ready for that. I had absolutely no idea how much money it would cost. So somehow the number 25 came in my head. I said, "We'll need $25,000." And she said, "I'll give you a quarter of that to start." And so we had our first, actually, she gave 6,000. So we had something to start with.
yes.
And
And then you
then,
came to Italy and we go to my house and then there was the Vandira Prabhu and we make the first shooting to collect more money and
yeah.
and with that movie we put this movie in Indiegogo and we
Mhm.
asked the devotees to send money. So I think like with 10,000 euro or 15,000 euro budget we were able to do it. The
Yeah.
editing took a long time.
You did it on we say on a shoestring, we say in English, a
Mhm.
shoestring. It means minimal budget.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Nice, nice. Thank you.
And the funny thing is uh, also when we met in India, there was this in the we opened the envelope. There were these donations for the movie, and there were
Uh,
these also there were some money which I don't know from which country they are. Like I still keep them. I don't know what to do with them. I know they are money and given to you, but I don't know what they are, so I'm just keeping them.
There's one, I think, nice story I'd like to tell about when we were shooting the film, and um, we drove to Kanchipuram with this film crew that you had hired from Mumbai to film at the Vaikuntha Perumal temple. And when we showed up and started unloading equipment, the priest came running out, yelling and screaming and saying, "You can't do any filming here." And they went on, and we said, "Oh, okay." And they said, "You can't film within 1 kilometer." Okay. And they said, "If you want to film, you have to get permission from such and such office." And that's back in Chennai. And we said, okay. And then we were walking around the outside wall of the temple, and we walked around to the back. And who was it who got into conversation with that family that lived there? Someone who spoke Tamil, um, explained what we were doing. And they said, "Oh, just here, come. You can come up on our roof and you can film the temple from there."
Actually, that moment is in the movie. I
Yeah,
put that moment in the movie, yes.
yeah. So then that's what we did. We filmed and it was an ideal spot. They had a perfect view of the temple from their roof.
And when we were in the roof, uh, uh, Philip already was in the temple, secretly shooting the temple.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Somehow they were distracted, I guess. So he went back in the temple and he actually filmed
Yes,
some
and
footage.
and when everything is over, we also fly with the drone.
He also did a drone.
We do everything. Whatever they say you can, we do all of them.
Yeah,
Just in 3 hours, we finished everything and we turned back.
yeah. Krishna, Krishna helped.
And what I'm happy is not that all the interviews that we did, we make something like 13 interviews,
Hmm.
full time, completely full time without any cut or anything, and with all the images around, they are still in our YouTube channel. So it's not
Yeah,
only
we still have those.
we
Yeah,
keep everything. So it's like we cherish and we celebrate every moment of this interview, and they are all open to the world to watch.
yeah, indeed. Soon, speaking of filming, well, I don't know what's going to be available for the public in general, but we just had this winter school in Vrindavan, and we had Radha Damodar Prabhu with us filming. His whole job the whole time was just filming. Um, I don't know. A lot of that may be kept just for future courses that people pay something for, but maybe some of it will be made open. We'll see. Good. Thank you. Jai Ho. Hare Krishna. Oh, right. Now, any birthdays today or this week? Any January birthdays? Any 2026 birthdays? Who?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Oh, yes, Rajaduta Gokul. Huh. Say again?
Anandita Rama.
You have birthday.
Yes,
Yes,
today.
today. Happy birthday
Yeah,
to you.
thank you.
What did you do to take birth today?
We went to the Shri Krishna temple in Udupi.
Ah, very nice. No, I
Yeah.
was asking what was it you did in your past life so that you took birth on this particular day? I'm just joking. So you saw Udupi Krishna today.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. You're still there in Udupi?
Um, Not direct. We are in a jungle,
In the jungle. Oh, okay.
close to Udupi. Yeah.
Okay. I guess we will hear about it sometime. You are coming back to Mayapur? No.
No, we are going on next Friday to Mumbai to
Mhm.
temple for the Pushpa Fest.
Okay.
Any Pushpa festival in
Okay.
in ISKCON temple, and after
Mhm.
that, three days later, we are flying home.
Okay. Zurück nach Deutschland.
Genau.
Okay. You had a good time here in India?
So and so, so and so.
So and so.
Yeah.
Viel Überraschungen.
Yeah, sehr viele. Yeah, sometimes it was very hard, really hard, and sometimes it was very funny. We
Uh-huh.
met many people who helped us, and we met many people who wanted us, from us money, money,
Uh-huh.
money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, experience very, very different.
Yeah.
Wir haben auch schöne Zeiten.
Uh-huh.
Ein
Okay.
Fehler.
Yeah, thank you,
So, safe travels.
thank you. Hare
Okay.
Krishna
Hare-
Maharaj.
Hare-
Also,
Uh, okay, now I'm just thinking, yes, I suppose we could start now. Last week, you, Dira Lalita, were requesting that we do some lessons in Sanskrit pronunciation. Um, so I thought, okay, let's do something, and I suspect that Vrindapati is going to be better at this than I am, but you can you can help Vrindapati. We'll see how things go. But what I'm going to do now is start with the what do you call it? The Aksharamali, the alphabet. Oh, wait. Before we do that, I have to get it in place. Mhm. Yes. Okay, here we go. And here we are. Share and share. Okay. Um, Now, for some of you, this may be quite elementary, and for others, maybe not. Of course, all of us have been hearing Sanskrit so much. We've been hearing recitation of verses, and we repeat verses in classes and so on. But this may add something to what you may already know. Let me say a little something about the the writing Devanagari. What you see in this chart is both the Devanagari, also just called Nagari, and the Roman. Can you see my pointer?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's pointing, yeah. Okay. So we're not going to worry about the Nagari script. It's not terribly difficult to learn. And I always explain to devotees that I learned it just from Srila Prabhupada's books by going through the chart, which is in the back of many of his books, the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, and there are the single letters, and then there are combinations, and gradually you start to learn how it all works by then looking at verses at the Devanagari and looking back and forth between the Devanagari and the transliteration, the Roman transliteration. You just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you see what is what in each case. And then at some point, what you can do is cover with your hand the Roman transliteration, and you try to read without looking at the Roman transliteration. You just look at the Devanagari script. And gradually, you'll see that you can do it. I have to say that the Sanskrit alphabet is infinitely simpler than Chinese, either Mandarin or Cantonese, because those languages, first of all, they're not phonetic. Phonetic means the particular letter has a particular sound which you can know by looking at the letter. In Chinese, you cannot know how it sounds by looking at the letter. You have to simply know. There's really no logic at all. It's completely. Now that wouldn't be so bad if there were only 50 letters like there are in Sanskrit. But in Chinese, there are not just 50 letters. There are thousands of letters. They're not characters. They're not letters, they're characters. And they say you can learn about 3,000 characters, enough to read a newspaper. But there are, someone told me something like 50,000 characters. Of course, the vast majority no one uses, but still. Point is that Sanskrit has all of, depending how you count, around 50 letters. That's not much. English has 26. Other languages may have more or less. But anyway, and there is a wonderful logic to the organization of the Sanskrit alphabet in terms of pronunciation and how sounds are made with the mouth. So we'll come to that, but yeah, we'll start with the vowels, which are these first two lines: a, e, u, r, ri, l, li, a, I, and then o, ow. These, how many? 4, 6, 12, 14. There's 14 vowels. this lr, this retroflex la, that is L with a dot under it, and retroflex la with a dot under it and a line over it are very rare. You hardly find much of any use for those. And you also very rarely find the retroflex long r, this R with a dot under it and a long line. That's practically, yeah, it's just very rare. But one point that's really quite important is to know that there is a difference between the short and the long vowels. This can make a major difference in meaning. It can make a difference in grammar. And it can also make a difference in it does make a difference in pronunciation. Although, as we'll see, the short A can be pronounced, or short A, I should say, can be pronounced in terms of rhythm as a long vowel. But let's not make it confusing for now. In Jiva Goswami's Harinamamrita Vyakarana, in order to make Vyakarana, which means grammar, to make it interesting, he sort of transformed Panini's grammar by using names of Vishnu wherever possible to explain principles of the grammar. And so I didn't study this, but I do remember one point, and that is kind of a humorous one. He refers to the short as vamana, vamana and long is trivikrama So we think of Vamana is, the dwarf incarnation, so he's short. And Trivikrama is, of course, Vamana transformed to cover the universe. He becomes very large. So like that, Jiva Goswami gives different names of Vishnu to illustrate or to help remember various points of grammar. So we have short and then and there's the long is, it's twice as long as the short. And sometimes it's good to even exaggerate the long So for example, Ramayana. It's many devotees pronounce Ramayana. It's not Ramayana, it's Ramayana. Ramayana becomes Ramayana, Narayana, and so on. So there's short and long then I and E, and short U and U. And then there's, now this what's called retroflex in English, I don't know. Retroflex means the tongue goes toward the roof of the mouth. And in South India, they'll pronounce it R. And so they'll say Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Sanskrit will be pronounced differently in different parts of India or in different schools, you could say, of Sanskrit. There will be differences. You'll hear Srila Prabhupada in speaking about knowledge and jnana, it would normally be pronounced. He will pronounce it jnana, like G-Y, when it's actually j and not retroflex, cerebral na. In any case, the point is, in North India, they'll say jnana, and in East India, jnana. But in the South, it'll be more like jnana. Okay, so we have a, I, U, R, Le, A, I, O, Ow. Now, one slight confusion could be there if you're interested in the learning the Nagari script, is that these vowel letters will only appear in these forms at the beginning of a word. You won't see them if they are within a word. So that could be a little bit confusing, but we can say something more about that later, maybe. These, I forget what they're called, diphthongs. A, I, O, and ow. These are always pronounced long. A, I, O, and ow. So you don't find a short A and then a long A. It's just all the same A. And same with the others. Then we have what's called anuswara, and the way that's indicated in Roman script is an M with a dot. In Prabhupada's books, the dot is always above the M, but it's very common to see the dot under the M. And it's called anuswara because swara means sound and anu means following. So it has the sense of a kind of carrying on of a sound. Yeah, so, and it comes in particular contexts. It generally doesn't come at the end of a line, but it will come at the within a line. And then we have visarga. Visarga, we know from Bhagavatam, means secondary creation. Sarga, visarga. So the H with the dot under it, it will also be pronounced differently according to different traditions, but it generally seems to be like a repetition of the previous syllable, the previous akshara. Okay, and then we have the consonants, and this is interesting because it's, you could almost say, scientifically organized in lines which are called vargas. And I don't know what the vertical relationship would be called. But so this first line would be called the ka varga. And what you may notice about this is that all five of these sounds have one thing in common. And what is that one thing in common? That the characteristic of all of the sounds is that they're made by closing off the back of the throat. So ka, ka, g, ga, and nga. Now there's going to be 3 different, or is it 4, different end sounds. Yeah, 4 of them. And that's going to be a little confusing until you see the relation to the others in the line. Okay, so we have what's called non-aspirated ka, and then aspirated ka, which has this H sound in it. So in the transliteration of this aspirated ka, it becomes 3 letters, ka, ha, and a. And I should say that all consonants, unless otherwise indicated, assume that the vowel sound of that consonant is going to be short ka. So that's why you see it written out here. All of them are with short a. So ka, ka, ga, gha, and na. Now, another thing, notice that it starts, the first letter of this line is a kind of hard sound, ka. And then it goes softer and softer and softer. So when you get to nga, it's very soft. Ka, ka, ga. And ga is softer than ka, and so on. So all of this line are related in terms of how the sound is made in the mouth. And there is a progression that goes from hard to soft and from non-aspirated to aspirated in the case of the first 2 sets. And that pattern is going to be the same for all the rest of the consonants. So that makes it actually quite easy to learn the sequence. And why would you want to learn the sequence? If you wanted to use a Sanskrit dictionary, you would need to know the sequence. Just like if you're using an English dictionary or a Croatian or an Italian or a Spanish or a Russian, you need to know in English it would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. We learned that all in first grade grammar school. So for looking up words in a Sanskrit dictionary, of course, now we just look on the internet. But if you have a Sanskrit dictionary, you need to know the order of the letters. And it's easy to learn the order because of this system. It's easy, actually. So from the ka varga, then we go to the cha varga. These are called cerebrals. Cha, cha, ja, ja, and na. Now, one way to understand these N is which N would you use before one of the other letters of the line? Okay, as an example, let's take the word Sanga. So Sanga, we have this ga, and before it, there's going to be some kind of N sound. Which N sound is it going to be? It's going to be this one with, in transliteration, the one with the little dot above it. Why? Because it's in the same varga, the same line. And why is it in the same line? Because it's easier to pronounce. If I said, if I take the dental na, which means the N by touching the tongue to the back of the upper teeth, Sanga, then that's a lot of work for my mouth because I have to move my tongue and then I have to move it back quickly, and that's not practical. But if I use the N, which is in the back of the mouth, the throat, before the ga, which is in the back of the throat, Sanga, it's easy. Sangat sanjayate. So we have sanjaya, sangat sanjayate, kama krodha vijayate. So sanjayate, we would have this N with a little curl above it. I forget what the technical term is. Before that N, sanjaya or sanjaya uvacha. Okay, then we go from the cerebrals, we go to the retroflex. Sorry, these are all English terms, and there's Sanskrit terms for them, which I never remember. But this would just be called the ta varga. And this line, ta, ta, da, da, and na, are made by curling the tongue up to the roof and touching the roof of the mouth. Ta. Which is different. This is hard for us Westerners to understand, but it's a different letter than the dental ta, ta, da, da, na, which is the next line down. They're different and they can have different meanings. Yeah. Then we have the pa varga, and we may know about the pa varga from a word we find in Shastra, apavarga. I can't think of the verse right now, but apavarga is explained by Srila Prabhupada as meaning, on the one hand, not the pa varga, but it means taking each one of these letters, pa, pa, ba, bha, and ma, and relating them to a meaning which has to do with suffering in the material world. For which I only remember right now pa, which refers to pena, which is the foam of the mouth of a horse that's working very hard. I think that's how it's explained. And then bha refers to bhaya, fear, and ma refers to death. And I don't remember what pa and ba are, but they have that sense. Anyway, apavarga vartmani, on the path of liberation, basically. And then we have what are called the semi-vowels, ya, ra, la, and va. And you can remember the order of these just with this little quick repetition. Yaralava. Yaralava. And then finally we have the sibilants, 3 of them. And in modern Bengali, there's practically no difference between any of these 3. But in proper Sanskrit, there's what is it? Is it a cerebral sha? I think it would be cerebral. So it's a kind of thin sha, the first one, and then the second one is a kind of thicker sh, sort of a more retroflex sh, deeper, and then the clear sa, and then finally, now we're getting the adan, and then finally ha. So those are all the letters of Sanskrit alphabet. Now you can show off to all your friends. This is from a little Sanskrit grammar book that was compiled by one scholar in Australia who I've met. He's made it for his students. So it's giving all of the paradigms for the nouns and then for the verbs. Not all, but practically all the necessary ones. In Sanskrit, you have to learn not only singular and plural, but also dual, as you have in Slovenian. And you have 8 different cases. Are they called cases? Noun declensions, in any case. Nominative, accusative, instrumental, dative, ablative, genitive, locative, and vocative. So it becomes 3 times 8 is 24. And this is just for, what we see here now is just for nouns that in their stem form, that means without any inflection, have a short at the end and which are masculine. So that's only one type. There's also neuter nouns ending in short a, then they will have a different paradigm. And here is a feminine with a long a. It's interesting, the word sena is a feminine verb. So like that, there's so many of them here. That's the little red book. Okay, maybe that's enough for today.
Prima Saravara Mataji has a question in the chat about this.
Yes. Can you read it for me? I don't see it here.
Hare Krishna, dear Gurudev, Yasha Devi Mataji has a question. What's the difference between ga and ka in pronunciation? Also the difference between gha and kha and how to pronounce pa. Thank you.
The first one was difference between ga and ka.
Yes.
Yeah, one is ka is more hard and ga is softer. So Govinda, we say Govinda, we don't say Kovinda, but we say Kavi, Kavi, or Kovida, or Karma. There's there's a slight difference there, but a significant difference. And what was the second one?
Gha and ka.
Gha, as in aspirated? Gha?
Gha.
Yeah. But the difference between that and?
So just the difference between two of them in pronunciation.
So one is without aspiration, g, and one is with aspiration, gha. So the one with, huh?
I think she means so between gha and ka. So gha and
Oh.
ha.
Yeah, it's the same thing. One is softer, one is harder. Of course, it would be good if I had examples for everything, but what would be an example? Agha, I can't think of an example just now. One is harder, one is softer. That's all I can say. It's, of course, easier to show with examples. And there was a
So Hare Krishna. So Kumara, GHA, ga, is harder than KHA, ha. So is it right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just like normal speaking. We say Govinda, it's kind of soft, isn't it? Govinda. And what's a
Okay.
word that starts with G with aspirated G? I don't know. There's not many words that start with Rindapati. Do you have an aspirated G example?
Maybe Ghoshti, when there's a Ghoshti.
Okay, yeah.
So Ghoshti is yeah.
Good. Yeah, the whole idea is these aspirated letters, they have a little bit of a airiness to them. You're sort of adding this ha sound sort of immediately with the first sound. So it's kind of subtle, and it can be, again, it can be important because there can be differences in meaning between one and another of the aksharas, although we may not hear so much difference. Actually, I find that Indian people, they very much seem to be tuned in to the difference between the retroflex letters, ta, da, da, and so on, and the dental letters. They seem to get it where Westerners often don't get it. Yeah. Was there anything else from Yashodevi?
Yeah, also about pa, how to pronounce pa.
Pa. Patram pushpam palam. So that's an interesting distinction. So patram is the unaspirated, patram, pushpam also, and then palam is transliterated ph, palam, toyam. So these are called, in English, this line, this varga, the pa varga is called labials or labials, which means that they're formed, all of them are formed with the lips, by closing the lips. Pa, ha, ba, ba, and ma. All of them, you need to close the lips for a moment in order to make the sound. Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Vrindapati, do
Gurudev.
you have any further comments, generally or otherwise, about the aksharas?
I think just one example that, it's very difficult for some people, especially if they're not, speaking in any of the Asian languages, to sometimes grasp some of the words and the pronunciation. So we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. But one common one I've noticed is people say tulasi, or it's tulsi, but tulasi is the Sanskrit. In Hindi, it's tulsi. They've just taken this slight out of the pronunciation. But tulasi is this, and some people do a sharper t because it's a tulsi. They say tulsi plant, but it's not tulsi because that's the sharper t, and the th is the tulasi that we use. So it's kind of, especially with
It's,
English speakers, I've noticed in England, I don't know about other places, but the struggle with the th and the t is always seen. You know, you always see that struggle. But
yeah.
I've noticed that people who speak Russian or they find it really easy to do Sanskrit pronunciation because there's some words and pronunciation comes naturally to them with the way they use the tongue, for
Yeah.
example. Um, I have no kind of
Yeah.
comments
Speaking of
really.
that word,
Everything you said was perfect. It was good revision for me.
what's
Yeah.
that? I missed that.
No, I said it was good revision for me. It was good
Oh,
revision for me to hear it all over.
just to the you're mentioning the word tulasi. Yeah, a lot of devotees say tulasi, like it's a long A, tulasi. But it's, as you said, tulasi.
Yeah,
And
the
it's long, it's
the Tulsi, not
tulasi.
turtles.
Yeah,
Tulsi. Yeah.
tulasi. And it's long C at the end, tulasi.
Yeah.
Anyway, Namo, Namo. Everyone in the morning is half asleep. Tulasi Krishna Preyasi, Namo, Namo. Okay.
Bengalis also have a pronunciation of Tulasi. Tulasi. They have the becomes more prominent in the Bengali language. So I think the Tulasi bit kind of really comes from that Bengali
Oh, really?
introduction also.
Okay.
So there could be regional problems.
Yes, there will be
with it.
regional differences. Yeah. Yeah, that becomes quite a subject of consternation and concern for some devotees regarding pronunciation of the Maha Mantra, because in Bengal it's typically Hare Krishna, Hare Ramo, and
Yes.
some devotees feel concerned this is simply wrong. Well, it's kind of Bengali. And
It's regionally correct.
I
My
suspect
friend,
that
I have
Krishna
a Bengali
understands.
friend.
Say
Yeah, Krishna
again?
understands. I have a Bengali friend. I have a friend of mine who is he's a servant of Dinabandhu Prabhu in Vrindavan. His name is Arta Bandhu, very good friend of mine. And I said to him, I really love listening to Chaitanya Charitamrita when it's spoken in Bengal, when the Bengali is spoken very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Even people who when speak read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he said, yeah, he says it is nice, but actually most people get the pronunciation completely wrong, even if they are kind of Hindi or Sanskrit speakers, because Bengali, he says, it has to be spoken in the Bengali way. You can't to be able to fully get I guess the blessing of what is being said. But
Uh,
but what was interesting that you mentioned earlier is that r, ri, and ru was also regionally very different. With Gujaratis
yeah,
saying Krishna, Krishna,
yeah.
and Gujaratis say Krishna, and
Okay.
so that was also interesting. But yeah, it's a big subject. I it's been a while since I've revisited actually just looking at the alphabet. So it was nice to kind of come back to some basics and look at
Hmm.
that.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let's do a few minutes of Nectar of Devotion, shall we? I think we ended with a rather humorous one of the offenses in deity worship. We can go there in a moment. Oops. Where did I go? Hmm. This slipped away. Oh, okay, there. Okay, share. Yeah, so I like this illustration. One should not pass air before the deity. What if one can't avoid it? Anyway, I think I made the point that the general principle in all of these is being respectful. And there's different ways of not of showing disrespect with the body and the words, and we might want to say also the mind. Okay, the next one, this is number 24. One should not fail to worship the deity according to one's means. And there's an explanation here. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the Lord is satisfied if some devotee offers him even a leaf or a little water. This formula prescribed by the Lord is universally applicable, even for the poorest man. But that does not mean that one who has sufficient means to worship the Lord very nicely should also adopt this method and try to satisfy the Lord simply by offering water and a leaf. If he has sufficient means, he should offer nice decorations, nice flowers, and nice foodstuffs, and observe all ceremonies. It is not that one should try to satisfy the Supreme Lord with a little water and a leaf, and for himself spend all his money in sense gratification. Yeah. Okay, so this you could say is an offense of stinginess, maybe, trying to hold on. And the ideal in the Bhagavatam of deity worship is, one at least, is Ambarish Maharaj. And he's described in Canto 9, Chapter 4, I think. And the famous verse starts, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo Vachangsi Vaikuntu Gunanu Varnane Karo Harir Mandiram Arjanaishu Shuting Chakarachita Satkatodaye. Starting with his mind, he engages in the Lord's service. And it goes on to describe how he uses his hands and his feet and his words and everything in the Lord's service. 25, one should not eat anything which is not offered first to Krishna. Okay, now that brings up always lots of questions. Well, what constitutes offering? And sometimes we like to do the instant offering, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. When we're in a hurry. With everything in ritual, there is a kind of spectrum between the ideal and something that may be practical. But you could say there's also something beyond the ideal, and that is the fully transcendental. And that kind of, in the context of offering, we could speak about meditational offering. And in the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada gives the example of the Brahmana meditating, doing manasa puja, and he's mentally cooking sweet rice. I think we talked about this the other day. He's cooking sweet rice, and then mentally he is touching it with his fingers to see if it's cool enough, because sweet rice should be offered cool, chilled, and he burns his fingers. And the point is that he's so absorbed in his meditation that it actually affects his physical body. 26, one should not fail to offer fresh fruit and grains to Krishna according to the season. So now we're in winter season. In most places, that means there's nothing fresh. So what do? Well, we offer what we can. Here in India, we can get some fresh fruits, bananas, and what else? Papaya. Grapes. Yeah, grapes. Chiku, yes. Okay, then 27, after food has been cooked, no one should be offered any foodstuff unless it is first offered to the deity. That's kind of the same point. In this context, one time Srila Prabhupada told devotees, this was quite early, it was in America, they were cooking for a festival, lots of people, and they were cooking and then again cooking and then again cooking and again cooking. And Srila Prabhupada said, you just cook and offer once in the morning, and everything else you can consider to be offered. So that was practical. This word food stuff, Prabhupada used often food stuff. When we were doing the reviewing of the editing of Bhagavad Gita, we kind of struggled with this because Dravida Prabhu, the main editor, said that technically foodstuff means ingredients for cooking. So raw ingredients you can call foodstuff, but you wouldn't call a finished, rice dal and chapatis, you wouldn't call it foodstuff anymore. Anyway, we struggled a bit with that, what to do. 28. Interesting picture. One should not sit with his back toward the deity. Prabhupada could be quite adamant about this. He very much didn't like it when devotees turned their back. And I think this is the main reason for closing the curtain of the deities when we have Tulsi Puja. Some say, well, we close because you shouldn't worship another person in front of the deities. I think Krishna likes to see Tulsi Tulasi being worshipped, Tulasi, because Tulasi is a very, very, very dear devotee of Krishna. But the problem is we circumambulate Tulasi, and that means if the curtain is open, that would mean having the back to the deity for at least some moments. Yeah, again, it's just a simple point of respect. If we want to insult someone, we turn our back to them. 29, one should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master. Or in other words, one should recite aloud the prayers to the spiritual master while offering obeisances. That's, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty common. Devotees are pretty silent a lot of the time. You might say, well, I'm offering aloud in my mind. 30, one should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of the spiritual master. This is a nice painting. This is why we like to say Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gurudeva, Jai. That's a kind of short code for praise. Or we say, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. 32, one should not deride the demigods before the deity. Yeah, this can be a slightly subtle point. But the general principle is very simple. All of the devas can be respected because they have special blessings of the Lord. And we understand they are serving the Lord in their positions. Okay, then besides these, there are a number of offenses which are mentioned in the Varaha Purana. They are as follows. And then I think there's another 32. Yeah. What was this? One should not touch the deity in a dark room. Okay. I think we can stop there for today. Huh? Okay, Malatimala wants to ask something.
The consequences of this.
What are the consequences of offenses to the deity? It may just be that the Lord is kind of withholding some of his blessings. It can depend very much on what the mood is when making an offense. If it's just a kind of inattentiveness, that's one thing. Of course, some intentional offense would be a serious problem. But what can we say are Krishna's responses to us are never mechanical. The general principle is we don't want to hinder our progress, and we want to come as soon as we can to the level of anartha nivriti. Nivriti means cessation. Cessation of what? Cessation of anartha, of what is not valuable. So that, as Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, we can do artha pravriti. We can be pravriti, engaged in artha, in what is valuable in spiritual life. Let's see, there's questions here. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Prema Sarovara. Oh, a PDF file of the book in Chinese, which was created by Gaura Nataraj. Well, Gaura Nataraj made the PDF file, but I don't see the file here. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh,
So if any of you are Chinese readers, Mandarin readers, uh, thank you for sharing it. I'm downloading it now. And yes, thank you, Prema Sarovara. And thank you for translating. You worked a lot on that book. Yeah. And then Florina is asking, can we pay obeisance to Srila Prabhupada while the curtains are open? I see it in the temples, but hearing this makes me wonder if it's okay. I would say yes, it's okay, because this rule that one should not offer obeisance or praise someone in front of the deity. As I see it, this means one should not do so to ordinary people. So if some politician comes in the temple, we don't start praising him and we don't offer obeisance to him. But the guru is the representative of Krishna, and Krishna is pleased to see his devotees honored, I would think. That's my understanding. Okay, well, here we are at our time of turning into pumpkins. Was this a good thing to do, to go through the alphabet, Sanskrit? Yeah. Next time we can do a bit of, I'll explain the simple rules, which can be a little confusing for prosody, that is to say, for reading to get the rhythm right of a verse. We'll start with simple Anushtup verses from the Gita, and we'll see what happens. Where we go.
Guruma, Guruma, do we know the origin of Sanskrit?
The origin of Sanskrit. Well, it depends who you talk with. In the devotional and can say traditional understanding is it's ever existing and eternal, and it's manifesting from time to time. The scholarly answer would be it is one language or family of languages derived from a kind of theoretical language they call Indo-European or even Proto-Indo-European. There is, in terms of sort of mundane science, there is good reason, good arguments, good evidence that there is a common source of languages, several languages in Europe, and some Indian. So what they say is, and they agree that it's speculation, but it's kind of educated guessing, that there was in what's now the area north of the Black Sea. I was just reading about this. In the area north of the Black Sea, according to some, was the main area of what they call Indo-European or Proto-Indo-European. But there's another theory that it was, what is it, Greco-Hittite or something? Hittite language. So there's lots of speculation about these things, but it's been studied very carefully by historians, linguistic historians. Is that okay?
It's not very okay because 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 we don't know still the origin, because it's like when you know the here in this let's say in this reality is like everything is like the shadows or the representation of something like Tulasi Devi is in that form, or the mercy, our souls is taking this bodily shape. And so Sanskrit is the language where we speak with our gods, and we always say the mantra, and through the mantras we communicate.
Yeah, I'm just
so
saying.
I was thinking if Sanskrit can be the personification of a certain energy force in the higher dimensions.
Okay. Well, of course, spiritually we understand Sanskrit is somehow ever existing. And Sanskrit, we understand, is the language of the gods and so on. I don't know if Krishna likes to speak Sanskrit or if he likes to speak Brajabhasha. I think he likes to speak Brajabhasha, which is more folksy. It's more earthy. It's, yeah, at least when he's in Vrindavan. Maybe when he's on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he prefers Sanskrit. Speaking more formally. Okay, I think we're going to end there for today. And I'll say thank you all very much for joining. Next week, I believe we can meet again. Let's see, where are we here? Yeah, it should be possible. So 24th. Next week, the weeks pass quickly, very soon. We're at the end of January. And then this Mayapur starts getting quite busy. Festival time. So, okay. Thank you all so much. I wish you all a wonderful week. Stay safe and stay sane and chant and be happy. Chant, don't chant or be happy. Chant and be happy. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Krishna Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Guru Maharaj